Hey everybody, welcome to Back Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. I'm Roger, glad to have y'all here with us today. So today we're going to do another one of our restaurant favorites. We're going to do Audrey's home style meatloaf with roasted yellow potatoes and sweet potatoes. This meatloaf was always a huge success at the restaurant. Very seldom did we ever have any that didn't sell. It's just a really great and easy meatloaf recipe. You're going to be surprised when you see just how simple it really is. And we got a little extra special treat in store for you today too. We're going to be doing a review on a 8-inch chef's knife that is from HOSHANHO, and we're going to review it and do some cutting with it and see how it is. So this is a knife that we're going to be testing out today, and I have to say it is beautiful. That handle on it and the steel on it. See if I can get it to where that the light's not hitting it so bad. All right, so a little bit about this knife. I'm just going to read this because in no way I can remember all of it. So y'all bear with me on this reading part. It's a 8-inch, 67 layer Damascus chef knife with sheath. The blade is made from 67 layers of Damascus super steel with a VG10 high carbon core, heat treated to 62 to 64 HRC for exceptional sharpness, durability, and rust resistance. Stunning feather-inspired Damascus design with clearly layered patterns. Sandblasted blade surface enhances wear resistance and prevents food from sticking while cutting. Has a ultra sharp V-shaped edge. Blade is hand honed to a 12-degree angle on each side. So let's get our gold potatoes or yellow potatoes cut up, and this is going to be our first thing that we cut with that knife. Guys, that slice through that potato like it was thin air. I'm telling you. This is one of those knives you got to be real careful or you will cut your finger off with it. I am loving this. Now let's see how it does on these sweet potatoes. And like I say, they are a little bit harder, but it went through them pretty nicely. I'm just going to put those in there in that bowl with our yellow ones because we are going to be cooking them all together. And on this knife too, there will be a link in the description that is for I think it's 20% off to our customers or to our viewers if they purchase one of these knives through the link. So let's see how this HOSHANHO knife does on an onion. Went right through it like butter. I tell you, it's one of the sharpest knives I've used in a long time. And like I say, this is one of those you want to be real careful with or you will have a finger missing. So y'all, my honest opinion on this chef's knife is that it's a pretty decent knife for the price. They retail for around $48. Definitely not that high price that you've seen many other chef knives sell for. But if you want a decent knife to have in your arsenal in your kitchen, this one will do it. And remember, you get 20% off if you order through the link that I'm going to put in the description. All right, y'all, let's get to mixing up this meatloaf. So first thing we've got is we've got 2 pounds of ground beef, and this is a 80-20. You could use a 90-10, or if however less fat you want to use in it, but usually the 80-20 does pretty good for us. So that's what we got there. Next thing we're going to add in there to that is going to be 2 eggs. Okay, and after the eggs, we're going to put 1 cup of plain breadcrumbs. Now, some people use the Italian crumbs, but we've always used the plain. All right, and then our next thing is going to be a 1/4 cup of ketchup. And before I start that, let me grab me a spoon here so I can scrape that out of the container. So we got a 1/4 cup of ketchup. All right, that's got our ketchup. Our next thing is going to be 8 ounces, and this is the most important part. And we have found we've made meatloafs from scratch. We've made it several other ways, but this is the best thing that we've come across, and it's 8 ounces of Hunt seasoned meatloaf sauce. That's Hunt's seasoned meatloaf sauce. Get it in a can at the grocery store. So just pour it in there. It's pretty much got everything in it that you would want to put in your meatloaf. All right, and then get that off there. Next thing we're going to do is a 1/2 cup of onion. And then we're going to do a 1/2 cup of bell pepper. And you can go more on the bell pepper or the onion. It's just totally up to your preference. But this is our preference on it. And then we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Now, I've got the oven preheating up to 400 degrees here, so we're going to mix this up, and that's why I've got the gloves on. We're just going to incorporate everything in together and get this meatloaf all mixed up. Don't take but just a minute to do that part. You just want to make sure that you get your breadcrumbs and your onions and your peppers and everything evenly distributed. Just be sure you go to the bottom and pull it up from the bottom to the top. I've already thrown a piece off to the side there, so get that one, put it back in there. We don't want to let him escape. All right, and that's basically got your meatloaf mixed up. See, I told you this was a simple and easy recipe that doesn't take a lot of prep time and it's very budget friendly as well. We got our meatloaf put in the pan, and what I did, I just put it in there and then kind of pressed it out into it. But one of the tricks here, take your fingers and just kind of put your fingers down in and mash down along the edges so that you have your meatloaf to look like this. A little bit of space between it on all edges. We've got our meatloaf is ready to go in the oven, so let's get our potatoes ready. So we're going to put a little bit of pepper on those potatoes. And again, this is just going to be to your taste. It's just depends on how much pepper and how much salt that you like. So we're going to go with salt now. Alright, and then we're going to drizzle it with some olive oil and then just work it in to coat everything with some of that olive oil. Alrighty. And then we'll just take them and just try to get everything coated with some of that olive oil. And we've got one of the baking sheets underneath here, so that that'll just kind of help keep the pan a little cleaner. They like to fly around once they get that olive oil on them. Guys, these are going to be so good. And just try to get everything in there and fold it over, so we get everything coated with some of that olive oil. They're looking pretty. Alright, so I believe we got that done. And then I'm going to try, don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to try to get our meatloaf on that same pan, because this meatloaf, you will have to drain it occasionally. You won't be able to just put it in there and walk away and not go back. So let's see if we can get that on there. Oh yeah, that way that'll keep it, that if by some chance it should overrun the pan with the grease as the grease is cooking out of it, we'll have something to catch it. All right, y'all, so we're going to go in the oven now, 400 degrees, and probably going to check it, maybe 30-40 minutes for now. We'll check it and see how it's looking, and I'll let you know total time once we get it all done. Well, it's been about an hour and our meatloaf is done, our potatoes are done, so we are now ready to put together a plate and give it a taste and see if everything tastes good. Well, we've got us a plate fixed. We got our meatloaf, we got some green beans, and we got our roasted gold potatoes and sweet potatoes. Only thing left now is to give it a taste. So first thing we're going to try is one of our roasted sweet potatoes. So soft and tender. Let's try one of the gold potatoes now. Same thing. Good and tender. All right. And now we're going to give the meatloaf a shot. So I got us a good bite of meatloaf there. That is so good. Tastes just like it did when that we did it in the restaurant. Guys, this meatloaf is so moist and tender. It's not dried out. That's one thing about Audrey's meatloaf, is it's never dry. So if y'all want to make something really, really good, make this meatloaf, because I'm telling you, your family's going to love you if you make it for them. It tastes awesome. So y'all make it for your family, share it with your friends. I'm going to go eat my plate of meatloaf and potatoes and green beans. Y'all have a great day. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time. And remember about the HOSHANHO knife. If y'all want a really good knife, chef's knife, for the price, you can't beat that. And as I said, you're going to get 20% off the retail price if you order it through the link that I'm going to be putting in the description. All right, guys, y'all have a good one.